I got blindsided. I didn't see it coming. None of us did. 45 Scrum Masters, including myself, gone. Just like that.
What a fox!
Wells Fargo called it overhiring. But let's be real. If you ever been laid off, terminated, or fired, you know that excuse doesn't make it sting any less. But here's the thing. I'm not panicking. And I want to share with you why I'm not worried and what you should do right now if you've been laid off, terminated, fired, or think you might be next. Stick around because I'm going to share my thoughts on what's happening in the job market, identify the number one mistake most people make after a layoff, termination, or being fired. Then I'm going to give you the exact game plan that I'm using to turn this into an opportunity. Because layoffs aren't just happening at Wells Fargo, they're happening across all industries, including the U.S. government, in which we all thought was the safest job on the planet. Wow. And if you're not prepared, you're playing defense in a game where the winners play offense. Welcome to Scrum Academy. I am Scott Adams, your Scrum and Money Advancement Coach. If you've been laid off, if you're afraid of being next, or if you just want to future-proof or recession-proof your career, this video is definitely for you. I'm curious, have you ever been laid off? Do you know what that feels like? I remember my first one about 20 years ago. It was devastating, like the end of the world. I was depressed, felt less than a person because I was just starting a family, had children. I'm one of the breadwinners of the house and just felt less than a person because I could not provide for my family. Oh, it was a very, very rough chapter in my life that lasted about a year. And when I got back in the game after that experience, changed my total mindset in terms of how I approach corporate America. Here are some tips that helped me through that process, helped me through that time, and I hope you can find some value out of some of these ideas. Of course, I'm a Christian. During that time, I felt comfort in reading my Bible daily, which certainly got me closer to God. I had very supportive friends and families. I realized that I needed to upskill my skill set from the industry I was coming from and the industry I wanted to go in. I had to rebrand myself. After this last experience, and now I will add, I want you to immediately take a vacation with family and or friends. Now check this out. I wouldn't have recommended this 2 weeks ago because on the 12th, during my lunch break, I drive home from Charlotte back to my house, which is about an hour and 15-minute commute. Okay, during that time, I like to decompress, so I'm listening to some audio book. I'm feeding my mind something I call it car university. So I don't really talk to people. I'm listening to something that I want to add to my mind that I think will help me in the future become a better person. Or I just maybe listen to some jazz music, just decompressing from the first half of the day. So by the time I got home, about an hour and 30 minutes later, after getting some lunch while I was out, I got everything set up, got my computer set up. I looked at my cell phone. I had 2 missed calls from my recruiter's boss, which would be equivalent to an account manager. 2 missed calls. I checked my voicemail. There was no voicemail. Okay, then I looked at the text message. I missed the text message. It was him. He said, "Hey, Scott, give me a call as soon as you get this message." Now, if you've been in the contract game for a while, you know that I'm 6 months into this contract, right? This is an 18-month contract. And typically recruiters don't call you in the midst of a contract. It's not like they are going to offer you another contract with another company. They can do that. So I'm thinking to myself before I dial the recruiter back, I've been on the contract for 6 months. I've missed 2 calls and I have a text within an hour's time to give this person a call. What in the world could be going on? Now check this out. I always read the writing on the wall, like what's going on in the environment. Are they adding more projects? Are they adding more people? Yes, they're doing all of that because the 45 Scrum Masters that got let go was just hired last summer. That means the company got money for new projects. So we just had quarterly planning. We got a new budget for the year. This is the writing on the wall, right? Exactly. So I'm going through my mind, replaying the tape, like, oh, did I miss something? I mean, I'm like, what in the world could this call be about? To give me a raise? Probably not. It's possible. But these are things that are going through my mind. So I pick up the phone. I talk to my account manager. He said, hey, Scott, just got a call from his contact within Wells Fargo. And he got notification that all of the people that he hired, there's about 10 people under this company that he hired. He's calling everybody today to let them know that their last day will be Friday, Valentine's Day, February the 14th, 2025. How? And I just asked, they tell you why? What's going on? He said, nah, I have no idea. He's asking me, do I know? I'm like, well, I'm going through what I told you. I read the writing on the wall. We had just met. He came to our Charlotte office and I met with him. We had breakfast and we had a good time. Met his boss and we had a great time and had a great conversation. Everything looked good. He couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything. Negatively, speaking of. So everything was good. During the conversation, he seemed very sincere, like he was really worried about me and my family, which I appreciated that. When I select a recruiter, notice what I said. When I select a recruiter, it is a relationship. Even my students, I don't do transactions. I do transformations. Okay. I don't look at people or the things I do as a transaction. I'm looking at, okay, this may be our first time dealing with each other, but I'm looking at this here transaction as a lifetime deal. Okay. If I don't see it in terms of it being a long-term relationship, a long-term deal, then why are we talking? Why are we doing business together? So thankful that I have a wonderful recruiter and a wonderful team out searching for things. So I'm super duper thankful for them. I've had recruiters that something like this has happened in the past. And what they would do was leave a voicemail on your phone. Hey, Scott, just want to let you know your contract is terminated 6 months earlier, a year earlier, whatever the case may be, and effective immediately. We'll send you an email, blah, 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 send your computer back, your badge and whatever. Very inhumane, right? Exactly. So I appreciated the account manager called me. I would have been fine if the recruiter called me, but this is the recruiter's boss calling me. So I was super duper impressed with that. And now I get off the phone and I do a woosah. The recruiter just confirmed what I'd already concluded before I even picked up the phone, correct? Exactly. So I get off the phone. I'm pretty sure you wonder if you've never been fired, laid off, or whatever. Scott, what was the first thing you did almost 2 weeks ago at about 2:35, 2:40 in the afternoon? Well, the first thing I did was, thank you, God. I bust out laughing. I said, thank you, God. Hey, I said, God, you so funny. Because last year I had booked a cruise to go with my friends a day after Valentine's Day. Yeah, 3 days from this call. Exactly. I'm losing my job on Friday. I'm going to take on vacation, my first ever cruise. I'm like, wow. I just bust out laughing. I said, God, you so cool. I said, God, you are the man. Why? Because God knew last year when I booked this cruise that I was going to lose my job and so that I won't get back in a depression or defunct or whatever. I never thought about taking a vacation ever in my life after losing a job because I'm strapping up my boots. I'm getting down in my grind. Exactly. So I never would have planned that. That's why I say this is all God. I saw my family that day. Hey, how's everything going? Oh, I lost my job today. Oh, okay. You going to be okay? Be fine. We got on the plane, went down to Tampa, Florida, met my friends there. Just like you talk to your friends, part of the conversation is going to be, hey, how's the job going? Everything going good? They treat you good? Yesterday was my last day. What? Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, don't be. I feel great. I'm fantastic. It's going to be okay. I said, please, before we get on this boat, don't even mention work ever again while we're on this boat. Okay, cool. Let's go have a ball. And I had a blast. So after that experience, that's why in my tips, I will add, please take a vacation. Please take a break. Get away from everything. Get your mind away from what just happened and just be at peace. Set yourself in an environment where your mind will think of creative things and just enjoy life. Remind us of the purpose of why we're here. The purpose of why we're here is not to work and build other people's dreams. The purpose is for you to do what you need to do to build your dream, to fulfill your purpose here on this earth. Layoffs are not reflections of your worth, but they are a wake-up call. I think salary is a weapon used to distract you from your dreams. Don't ever get comfortable with your salary. I learned that over 20 years ago, and I never do. Well, but if you think about it, isn't that a mantra of a Scrum Master? It goes something like this, in case if you forgot. We have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. But oftentimes I see Scrum Masters get comfortable being comfortable, which tells me, A, you're not doing Scrum right, and B, you just a phone call away from your life potentially being uprooted. And it's good today, but it's devastating tomorrow. I hope you don't ever give no organization that kind of power. This is a reminder that your job is not your safety net. Your skill set is. So let's get into why this happened, what it means for the job market, and most importantly, what you should be doing right now to stay ahead of the game. So what happened at Wells Fargo? I don't know, to be honest with you, nor do I care. I know the answer I was given by a full-time direct hire person I spoke with. They had a meeting that day at about 4 o'clock to let them know that we overhired was the answer they was given. It briefly went through my mind that day. How in the world do you overhire by 45 people? Layoffs is a reality in today's market. If you've been laid off, if you've been fired, if you've been terminated, it's hard not to take it personal. But you cannot allow yourself to take it personal. If you do that, you will disengage and will take yourself out of the game. You have to re-engage and stay in the game. Rebrand, upskill, whatever you need to do, but stay in the game. Now, we see a trend across the entire job market here in the United States, as I identified the government and places that we never thought of that would be seeing people are losing their jobs. We didn't see that coming, not at this level. Now, we also do know that we're on the verge of a recession. They've been talking about that for a while. It was actually predicted by this summer we will be in a recession. I don't know. But what I do know is we see the trend is going in this direction. We see companies are cutting costs. We see companies are restructuring. We see companies are finding ways to eliminate roles. Now, let's pause there. You see all that with your eyes. Now, let's go with what your eyes cannot see. Insight. Well, companies want to grow, right? Yep, they do want to grow. Then you need more people in order to grow more, in most cases, correct? Yes, that is correct. So the 45 Scrum Masters that was let go, there's probably about 10 Scrum Masters in this department that are full-time direct hire. Each Scrum Master had 3 teams. We had 2 Scrum teams and 1 Kanban team. So 45 times 3 is approximately 150 Scrum teams mixed with Kanban. Now, spread that over 10 Scrum Masters of the company. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think 10 Scrum Masters can handle 150 teams? So what's going to have to happen? Well, they're going to have to hire people back. And here's what I don't want you to do, to get so discouraged that you stop applying, that you stop upping your skills, you stop doing the things that you did to get your job in the first place. Don't do that. I think of it like this. If you're trying to win the Powerball, the first thing you have to do is have a lottery ticket, correct? Correct. So if you're trying to get a job, the first thing you're going to have to do, well, assuming you got your resume updated, blah, 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 then the next thing you're going to have to do is to apply. One of the problems could be your sample size is not big enough. Well, if you only apply for 2 jobs in the last 2 weeks, then your sample size is not big enough. But before you go blasting out your resume or your whatever, listen to some of the previous videos I've been doing since January of this year because I knew this was coming. I didn't know what the scale was, so I wanted to put out videos ahead of time to help you go through this process. Remember the framework I shared with you? It was like the first a second video I did this year in 2025. Check those videos out. Starting from January of this year, I've been really giving you stuff to help you with your resume, to help you to upskill, to help you rebrand yourself because, yeah, we saw this coming. Not surprised. Surprised at who's getting laid off, yes. But surprised that layoffs are happening? No. Saw this coming from a mile away even before the pandemic and have planned for it for those who saw it. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you or someone you know been affected by the recent layoffs? If so, I want you to drop a comment down below. I want to hear your story, and I will definitely reply. Now, we talked about the reality of layoffs and don't take it personal. Let's go a little bit deeper into the reality of layoffs. Yeah, you and I have lost our jobs, but have you ever thought about our peers? Those folks who had the same position as we had, different teams, Scrum Master? Exactly. Now, I've talked to some of those people and their workload just now multiplied. I call that getting pimped. Their salary ain't gonna change, but the workload just multiplied. And you already know what they think. I need to find me another job. Not for fear of losing their job. They looking at all the workload that's around them. And what's so strange? Check this out. It even gets worse than that. Just to show you, to help you look at it from a different perspective. Now, I remember before we took the Christmas break, one of the full-time employees, she was over me, lead Scrum Master. We just ask each other, hey, what are you doing for your holiday? Some people who accrue vacation time, they get to the end of the year and they have to take off or lose their time. So she's like, well, I'm not taking off. I can't afford to take off because I got so much work to do. Hold up, wait a minute. You have earned vacation time and you're not going to take it. You're just going to give that back to the company? She said, yeah. So the only time I took off was because my mother died. Did you hear that? My mother died and I took off, for the funeral and to grieve. I said, wow, interesting. So come January, I told her, look, will you do me a favor this year? I said, whatever vacation time that you accrue, will you please promise me that you would take all of your vacation time? She said, yeah, Scott, I promise you I would do that. Because it didn't matter how long you work, the work will never be finished. She's like, oh, she had a moment. So think about it from that perspective. We oftentimes see ourselves getting fired, getting laid off, getting terminated. But what about the people who are left? Yeah, they're getting an income, and you're not for the moment, but they are stressed the hell out. Stress is number one killer, right? Now, let's go to why am I not panicking? And what else you need to learn from this? You see, I have multiple income streams, which equals financial stability. It's been said when I was younger that you need at least 7 streams of income. Let me ask you something. Do you think that's enough in this day and time? Oh, hell no. No. You need as many income streams as you can create. As many as possible. 7.
No.
Scratch that. Somebody lied to you like they lied to me. No, the number ain't 7. As many is necessary for you to achieve the financial goals that you're looking for, whatever that number is. I've said this before, but it's worth saying again. Your company is not your safety net, but your skill set is. If I only had one stream of income, I would be panicking like I did 20 years ago. But instead, I'm prepared. Because like I said, once you go through something like that and you get on the other side of it, oh, it changes you. Your mindset changed. Hopefully. If it did not, I can't imagine why it wouldn't have changed if it was devastating enough. Because people change for 2 reasons. Desperation or motivation. The number one mistake people make after a layoff, being terminated or being fired is they wait. But what are you waiting on? Why wait? They wait for the job market to get better. They wait for a recruiter to call. And by the way, if you got good recruiters like me, yeah, I wait for their call before I apply. In fact, here's something you might find funny. Fascinating, actually. Now, this happened on February the 12th, was a Wednesday. By Thursday morning, my recruiter had 3 jobs that fit my definition of done from the framework. Exactly. Now, check this out. Here's where it really gets interesting. Now, one of the 3 jobs she sent to me was from Wells Fargo.
What's the matter with you?
I looked at my cell phone. I texted her back. Absolutely not. WF. She replied back,
Yes!
I completely understand. No. Everything I've said up to now, showing you the opportunity. People leave, people come. That's just the way it is. If you just got let go from a company, you possibly can go back. But if you all mad and depending upon how you left things when you left, you may not have the ability to go back. But they wanted me to come back before I was even let go. Imagine that. I'm like, nah, I just ain't feeling that right now. So I told my recruiter, set me up an interview with the next 2, which was Friday before I was leaving for vacation. Wasn't enough time for me. So I said, well, let's do it when I get back from vacation. And I had those interviews just a couple of days ago. They went amazing. So by the time you come to the Serial Scrum Master class, I should be back in the game. Or they waiting for the right opportunity. Well, what is the right opportunity? The right opportunity for me meets my definition of done. It's not going to take up a whole lot of my time. I'm going to have freedom. I can work remote most of the time. I'm going back to my pure definition of done now. Only remote work. That's my definition of done. Okay, now with that said, the right opportunity for me is the one that fits my definition of done that I created doing the framework. Have you done that yet? If not, what you waiting on? You see, if you're not clear on what you want, you'll settle for anything. Then you get in that, you may not be happy. Well, you can prevent that from happening if you're clear on what you want. Because once you're clear on what you want, you only see the thing that you actually want. You don't see nothing else. I even shared that with my recruiter. Don't send me this. Don't send me that. I only want this. This is my definition of done. If it doesn't meet this, don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. The truth, if you waiting, you already behind. I want you to play offense. I want you to begin to practice offense. Here's what I want you to do moving forward. Forever and ever and ever. The rest of your working career. Play offense. What does that look like? The best time to prepare for a job loss was before it happened. In other words, be like me. I'm always looking. Why? Because if I don't like what's going on my current assignment, hey, I got options. I am not stuck in any situation or contract. Now, the second best time is right now. My game plan moving forward. What should you do right now? Invest in skills that make you indispensable, like Scrum, Agile, coaching, AI, data, facilitation, leadership, communication. Those are all skills that ain't going nowhere. In fact, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the top skills that every organization needs that a Scrum Master has. 2, don't just apply for jobs. Position yourself as the answer to the employer's problem. 3, expand your income streams so that no single job can control you and your family's future. 4, join a community of high-level professionals who are playing offense, not defense. I think I might know of one. I think it's called Scrum Academy. A legendary community, yes. And you know what? That's exactly why I created the Serial Scrum Masterclass. Been teaching people for years in the program, but I want to do something for the public to reach more people, to help more people. Are you interested in something like that? I hope you are. I got a class starting very, very soon. Next month, in fact. Normally, I would charge $25,000 per person for this 8-week program. I am opening for a limited amount of time just for you and to help as many people as I possibly can with all these layoffs going on. But I'm opening just for $2,500. I know, right? Almost a giveaway. Scott, you said you charged $25,000 per person for this course, right? Yes. It's going to be the same course. I'm not going to take away anything, but I am going to charge you just a fraction of the investment. Not a cost. This is an investment for you to go through this transformation. You'll learn exactly how I turned my Scrum skills into a 7-figure annual income. The next class starts next month, and spots are very, very limited. This is your chance to recession-proof, layoff-proof, termination-proof, fire-proof your career and start building wealth for your family. Because here's the beautiful thing about a recession. To me, I love recessions. Why? Because a recession is always a transfer of wealth from over here to over here. And if you're ready over here for that wealth to leave this hand and go over to this hand, oh, my. All those years that you didn't get what you thought you deserved, we have an opportunity to do that over the next few years. So I love recessions, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm trying to make as much money as I can to catch some of those stocks that are on like super duper sales. Yeah, catch them while they super duper low and ride it like a surfboard, like a wave, ride that thing all the way up to the top to super duper financial independence.
Yes!
Serial Scrum Masterclass. I see you there. Layoffs don't define you. Your response does. Defense might win football games, but in the game called life, playing defense will leave you broke. If you're stuck waiting, reacting, and hoping things get better, you're setting yourself up to lose. But if you play offense, whoo, baby, that's how you win. I want you to drop a comment below and answer the question. Have you experienced a layoff? Or are you preparing for one? What's your plan? Let's start the conversation. And before you go, like this video. Subscribe for more real talk on Scrum, money, and career growth. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss what's next. And finally, share this with everybody who you know who has been recently fired, terminated, frustrated with their job, whatever the case may be. Send it to them. You have a loved one or a family member who's going through something similar as I am. If that's the case, share this with as many people as you possibly can, because our goal is to help as many people as we possibly can. But if they don't know about us, if I don't know about them, we can't help each other. So if you would do me a favor, please do that for me, and appreciate you. As always, be agile, do Scrum, and be super duper legendary in all of your endeavors. I'll see you in the next episode.